my name is Elizabeth Lopez, and today I'm going to be tackling the issue of the positives of diversity and their reinforcement in the education system. I'm going to be answering, does lack of diversity in classroom affect students' probability of success in the real world? And the answer will be yes. Yes, it does. The first article I read was choosing a school for my daughter in a segregated city, which talked about a newlywed couple that their daughter has finally reached the age of primary school, having to go over what they want for their child. Do they want public school? Do they want private school? What does this school offers? And they sadly came to the conclusion that public school may not give the same opportunity to their daughter, but she will be able to experience a more diverse field, rather than sending their daughter to a private school where, there's resources. She is able to be successful. She is able to be molded into that college-led student. But what are you sacrificing? You're sacrificing the lack of diversity. You're sacrificing the lack of being able to see someone just like you. One of the quotes that really stood out to me was, putting your child into a segregated school will not integrate it racially, but we are middle class and will at least help to integrate it economically. They're middle class, and they're making a decision of breaking the budget to send their school to a better school, or just simply sending her to a public school. And another article I read was motivation, engagement, and student voices, especially for teachers as they confront today's class sizes, pacing calendars, and standardized assessments. It's true. When it comes to socio-economical resources, those schools that land in a lower income do not have the same opportunity as those students that are in private schools or that have a higher house value, because that's where the funding of the school comes down to. Each one of these does have an effect, because it goes to like student to teacher ratio, where you might have a classroom of 24-1, which is the perfect student to teacher ratio. But then there's schools like mine where we were 37 or 40-1, where sometimes we didn't even have a desk until like 2 weeks into the school. Another ratio was getting rid of bad seat students. It's supposed to be a benefit of their good classmates, but then turned out to be the case when students went through their classmates being shown the door for trivial offenses, they worry about the next. Studies showed that they grow more anxious and do worse on high skates of reading tests. In order for us to help adolescents throughout their time of change, their time of needs, we can't label students as bad students. All students are good students at the end of the day, but there's some that just need someone to speak. We don't know what everyone's background is. We don't know what they may need. They may just need someone to talk to. A given example, and don't suspend students, empathize. Jason was trying to rile his teachers. He wasn't paying attention in class because his thoughts were being consumed by his friend's misfortunes. One had just been arrested, another one had accidentally shot himself. This is a primary example that we all come from different backgrounds, how we have to be there for adolescents, and we have to be there throughout this time of change. Their hormonal changes, their different backgrounds that we're coming for. And this is why I emphasize that the lack of diversity does affect students, or even having diversity. After Brown versus the Board of Education had passed, the point of it was in order to have integrated students, in order for students to have all the same standards, to have the same opportunities and to reach their goal, not having race to be one of the factors of how successful they are. But sadly, it is not. Sadly, we have fallen into this districts area, into how, depending how successful one may be, will depend upon what zip code area you live. And it just simply is not what one would have hoped for the United States. It's not quite reflective of liberty and justice for all.